Hey everyone, it's Jared here, and today I'm going to teach you something called the Easy Beat System. This is something I created for an upcoming release called Successful Drumming, but we'll talk more about that later. Now, the beat that I just played in the intro of this video literally took me less than 2 minutes to create using this system. Now, this system is great for beginner, intermediate drummers who are struggling to kind of add new beats to their vocabulary and struggling to really be creative. And so this is a really simple and effective way that you can create drum beats, and I've given you all the resources to do that. And so let's just take a look at the sheet music, and I'm sure through the magic of video, the first exercise will appear right below me here. And there you're going to see a top line, and it's going to say step 1, hi-hat. So the first thing you want to do when creating a new beat within this system is just add the hi-hat. So there we just have straight 8th notes. And then the next step is to add the snare drum. Now again, that's going to hopefully appear right there. And there we're going to add the snare drum on counts 2, counts 4, and then a little 16th note triplet partial on the and of 4. Okay, so 2 16th note triplet ghost notes. So together that would sound like this. So it's starting to come together. The next step is just to add in the bass drum. So the bass drum is on counts 1, the and of 1, and then the and of 3. So finally, you have the full beat. I'm going to play it for you guys at 80 beats per minute, and it sounds like this. So hopefully you see how easy this is to just simply add the hi-hat, then add the snare, and then add the bass drum. And if you write like that and learn like that, you're going to learn much, much faster and much, much more effectively. All right? So let's take a look at the next example I give you. Okay, so the next example I give you is basically starting with 3 16th notes, 1 E and, then we take a break on the ah of 1, and then play 2 E and a 3 E and a, and then we have one more 16th note hi-hat on the E of 4. So that sounds like this. Okay, so it sounds like a cool little hi-hat pattern. Now we're going to add the snare drum on the ah of 1, the 4, the and of 4, and the ah of 4, which would sound like this. And the next step is we'll add in the bass drum on counts 1, the E of 2, the and of 2, and then the ah of 3. Here we go. Great, so now it's gotten a little bit more complex. And these beats, like I literally learned them before the lesson, but it took me 5 minutes to create them. Okay, and this is something that you can easily do on your own just with a pencil and a paper, or the sheet music I'm giving you has a bunch of open spots for you to create your own beats. So here we go, I want to show you one more final beat, and this is where it really gets fun for me. This is where I get to create a lot of those, kind of ride bell patterns or weird kind of offbeat hi-hat patterns. They're not just the consistent 8th notes or the consistent 16th notes. They're actually something a little bit more interesting and different and something very, very unique and fun to play. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Just the hi-hat pattern on its own is like this. So I first just write out the hi-hat rhythm exactly like that and then learn that, okay? And I learned this right before this lesson. I'd never played this beat before. I literally just took me a couple minutes to come up with it. And so I learned that hi-hat pattern, and then I add in the snare drum, okay? And that's how this looks. And then finally, we'll add in a very simple bass drum pattern just on the 1, the of 1, the and of 2, and the and of 3. And then we're also going to add an open hi-hat with the foot on the and of 4. So here we go. And that is the easy beat system. It's all about developing the hi-hat part, developing the snare part, developing the bass drum part, and then also learning them in that order. And if you do that, you're going to learn much more efficiently, and you're going to add a ton of new beats to your vocabulary. And I want to say one thing. Now, all these beats that I create and the beats that you're going to create, they might not necessarily fit to music, and that's totally fine. The whole point is just to get your mind working, get your mind understanding how note values relate to musical notation, and then how that relates to the actual music you're playing. Eventually, you want to get to the point where you can listen to music and be able to pick out certain rhythms and pick out certain things and then react in a certain way, that fits the music perfectly. That's where we want to get to. But getting to that point, it's not instant, right? It takes time, and it takes working through some systems like this to really help develop your skills, develop the theory behind all of it, and just develop a really, really solid foundation. And I think most drummers don't have a really, really solid foundation because they try and go from here all the way up to here and just skip all the stuff in the middle. So don't skip the stuff in the middle. And so if you download the sheet music, you'll notice there's a bunch of blank spots. I'm not going to give you 20 or 30 of these examples. I really want you guys to create your own. Okay, write in the hi-hat part, write in the snare part with the hi-hat part, and then write in the bass drum part, and then learn it. See how it sounds. All right, so now like I said, this is part of something called successful drumming, which we're going to be talking more about in future videos, but this is something new, totally brand new that I've been working on for a long time now, and there's actually a section in there called the drum fill builder as well, and it's something similar to this, but very different in how you can construct and create your own fills, but that is super fun as well. Now, all the information on that is coming very, very soon, so stay tuned, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you're inspired to create some beats using this system, and I'll see you again very soon.